Arjun Malhotra's name echoed in the tech halls of Los Angeles, like that of a modern legend. But behind the polished image lay a precarious secret, a forbidden relationship and a trail of reckless decisions that threatened to unravel everything he had built. By 45, he had climbed from the shadows of his immigrant roots to command Zenith Dynamics, a billion-dollar startup pioneering artificial intelligence. He was the man with it all, a Beverly Hills mansion, luxury cars that turned heads, a devoted wife named Priya, and 2 children who worshipped him. But on a chilly December night, as he gazed out of his towering office window, clutching a glass of whiskey, a cryptic message flashed on his phone. "We know what you did." To the outside world, Arjun's life seemed like a dream. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form. The pressure of running a tech empire, coupled with the loneliness that often accompanies success, had left Arjun vulnerable. Priya, who had been his steadfast partner since their college days, had grown distant, while she poured her energy into charity work and raising their children. Arjun found solace in his company, and eventually in someone within its walls. Emily Carter was 26, ambitious and strikingly beautiful. Beneath her confident exterior, however, lay a complex mix of motivations. Having grown up in a small town where opportunities were scarce, she had always dreamed of making it big in the corporate world. Emily craved recognition and validation, a hunger born from years of being overlooked in her conservative hometown. Though her ambition drove her to excel at Zenith Dynamics, it also made her vulnerable to the allure of Arjun's attention. She struggled with the moral implications of their relationship, torn between her aspirations and the guilt gnawing at her conscience. Hailing from a small town in Oregon, she had a natural charisma and a sharp intellect that made her stand out. Known for her ability to connect with people and her relentless drive, Emily had quickly risen through the ranks, earning respect and envy in equal measure. She had joined Zenith Dynamics as a marketing coordinator and quickly caught Arjun's eye during a team presentation. Her energy, confidence, and admiration for his achievements drew him in. For Emily, the attention from one of the tech world's most powerful figures felt like a dream come true. What began as innocent conversations over coffee turned into late-night meetings, secret texts, and stolen moments. At first, Arjun convinced himself it was harmless. He told himself that he deserved happiness, that he wasn't doing anything wrong. But as their affair deepened, the lies became harder to maintain. He began canceling family dinners, missing his children's soccer games, and finding excuses to work late. Priya noticed the changes but chose to believe his explanations, trusting the man she'd built her life with. Everything unraveled on a fateful evening during Zenith Dynamics' annual gala. It was the company's most high-profile event, attended by investors, employees, and media personalities. Arjun arrived with Priya by his side, their polished smiles masking the growing distance between them. Emily was there too, dressed in a stunning red gown that turned heads. The tension between her and Arjun was palpable to anyone paying close attention. As the evening progressed, whispers began to circulate. A junior employee had stumbled upon flirtatious texts between Arjun and Emily on a company laptop, a mistake Arjun had made in his haste. The employee, unsure of what to do, confided in a colleague. By the time dessert was served, the rumor had reached one of Zenith's board members. The board member, a sharp and pragmatic woman named Vanessa Lee, decided to confront Arjun privately. She cornered him in the hallway, away from the prying eyes of the guests. "Arjun, "We need to talk," she said, her voice firm. Arjun's heart sank. He knew Vanessa well enough to recognize the seriousness in her tone. "What is it?" he asked, feigning ignorance. "There's a rumor going around about you and Emily Carter," Vanessa said bluntly. "Is it true?" For a moment, Arjun considered denying it, but the weight of his actions, combined with the knowledge that evidence might already be circulating, made him falter. "Vanessa, I can explain." "Save it," Vanessa cut him off. "Do you have any idea what this could do to the company? To your reputation?" Arjun's silence was all the confirmation Vanessa needed. She left him standing there, a mixture of anger and disappointment on her face. The rest of the evening passed in a blur, with Arjun barely able to focus. Priya noticed his agitation, but chalked it up to work stress. The next morning, the scandal broke. The junior employee who had discovered the texts wrestled with the decision for hours, torn between loyalty to the company and a growing sense of moral responsibility. In the end, their conscience won. They took screenshots and shared them anonymously online, believing it was the only way to expose the truth and hold those in power accountable. Within hours, the story was trending on social media. Headlines screamed about the fall of a tech titan and scandal at Zenith Dynamics. Investors began pulling out, employees demanded answers, and activists called for accountability. Priya was blindsided. When she confronted Arjun, he couldn't deny it. The betrayal in her eyes was something he would never forget. She packed her bags and took the children to her parents' house, leaving Arjun alone in their cavernous mansion. The board of Zenith Dynamics convened in an emergency meeting, their faces etched with a mix of disappointment and urgency. Once staunch supporters of Arjun, they reflected on his past contributions and the vision he had brought to the company. However, the evidence of his indiscretions was undeniable. Heated debates filled the room, with some board members advocating for immediate action to preserve the company's reputation, while others hesitated, grappling with the loss of a leader they had once trusted implicitly. Ultimately, the decision was made. They voted to remove Arjun as CEO, citing a violation of the company's ethics policy. Vanessa took over as interim CEO, determined to stabilize the company and rebuild the trust that Arjun had shattered. Vanessa took over as interim CEO, working tirelessly to stabilize the company and repair its tarnished image. Arjun's fall from grace was swift and brutal. The media dissected every aspect of his life, from his humble beginnings to his meteoric rise and catastrophic downfall. Emily, who had initially been swept up in the thrill of their affair, found herself ostracized and unemployed. She moved back to her hometown, seeking to rebuild her life away from the spotlight. For Arjun, the consequences extended beyond his career. He became a pariah in social circles, his friends distancing themselves to avoid being tainted by association. Lawsuits from disgruntled investors drained his finances, forcing him to sell his mansion and luxury cars. Alone and humiliated, he moved into a modest apartment, far from the glitz and glamour he had once known. Months turned into years, and Arjun began to reflect deeply on the choices that had led to his downfall. He recalled the pivotal moments when he prioritized ambition over relationships, his inability to recognize the growing void in his marriage, and the reckless decisions that had cost him everything. Therapy sessions became a lifeline, helping him confront painful truths about his need for validation and the emptiness he had sought to escape. Through guided conversations, He realized how much of his identity had been tied to external achievements rather than internal fulfillment. He recounted memories of missed family moments and the hollow victories that came at great personal cost. One breakthrough came when he understood how his relentless pursuit of success was rooted in a fear of failure instilled during his childhood. This clarity allowed him to begin rebuilding his values from the ground up, focusing on relationships, honesty, and purpose. These realizations, while harrowing, marked the beginning of a slow journey toward understanding and growth. He sought therapy, hoping to understand the void he had tried to fill with his affair. Slowly, he began volunteering at local nonprofits, using his skills to help small businesses and underprivileged communities. It was a far cry from his days as a powerful CEO, but it gave him a sense of purpose. He found himself sharing meals with families who lived paycheck to paycheck, learning about the struggles they faced and realizing how disconnected he had been from the real world. The small victories, helping a single mother get funding for her startup, mentoring a teenager with a bright mind but limited resources, began to give him a sense of fulfillment that his billion-dollar empire never had. One day, while mentoring a group of young entrepreneurs, Arjun shared his story. He spoke candidly about his mistakes, the pain he had caused, and the lessons he had learned. He shared how unchecked ambition had blinded him to the needs of those he loved, how honesty and communication were essential in maintaining trust, and how seeking validation in the wrong places could lead to devastating consequences. Arjun emphasized the importance of self-reflection and accountability, urging his audience to prioritize integrity over success at any cost. To his surprise, his honesty resonated with the audience. As he finished speaking, a young woman raised her hand and said, "Hearing you talk about your mistakes gives me hope that I can bounce back from mine." Another attendee approached him afterward, shaking his hand with a firm grip. "Thank you for being real," the man said. "It's rare to hear someone at your level admit to their flaws." The room buzzed with conversations, and Arjun could see the impact of his words reflected in their expressions, a mix of understanding, empathy, and inspiration. They saw him not as a fallen titan, but as a cautionary tale, proof that even the most successful people are human, capable of both greatness and failure. Young entrepreneurs approached him afterward, not for advice on building wealth, but for guidance on how to stay true to their values as they pursued their dreams. Arjun's journey toward redemption was long and arduous, but it taught him the value of humility and integrity. While he would never regain the life he had lost, he found a new kind of fulfillment in helping others avoid the pitfalls that had ensnared him. And in those moments of connection, surrounded by people striving to make their mark, he began to feel something he hadn't felt in years: hope. Life is full of lessons, and this story serves as a reminder that success without integrity is fleeting. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Stay tuned for more compelling tales of rise, fall, and redemption.